Alright, hello there everybody. It's me, the Invisible Gunslinger number 1, and this is a video I really don't want to make. This is something I've been putting off. I'm dreading having to talk about this, but you know what? God damn it, you guys deserve to know, because you guys really do care, and you just deserve to know what's been happening to me these last 3 months. It's been hell. Absolute mind-bending hell, and I gotta tell you guys about it because it's definitely going to be affecting my commentary in the future, and it's just something you guys need to know that's been happening, so I need to bite the bullet and just talk about it. So, for the last 3 months, I have been really suffering, and I don't just mean like, you know, when I had my car accident and I was in some physical pain or whatever, anything like that. This year has been definitively the worst year of my life, easily. Just things have happened that, well, okay, so the main thing that I'm trying not to talk about, but I'm just going to come at head on, is about 3 months ago, in early May 4th, my dad died. He died of liver complications, and it was very sudden. It was about a week from him being bedridden to having to go to the hospital to having to be put on dialysis to being knocked out, to passing away. And there was this moment, this almost horrifically comic moment, where it was at the very end. It was early in the morning on May 4th, and I was walking my mom to my car because we had been staying with my dad throughout the night, and it was just time for her to go home and get some sleep. My uncle was still up in the hospital room with him. My dad was, completely out of it. And as I'm walking her to the car, my uncle calls me and says, "Hey, I think it's time. You guys better get back up here really fast." And so we start running a little bit, but my mom's got kind of a bum foot, and I'm trying to keep pace with her. I'm slowing myself down, and she's like, "Look, just go. Don't wait up for me." And so I book it. I just dash as fast as I haven't ran that fast in years, and I ran through the parking lot. I got into the hotel, or the hospital lobby. I asked them for the ID pass because they have that kind of system where you need to have a pass on your shirt. So I'm waiting. I'm like, come on. And they get it. I put it on. I dash through the hallways. I go into the elevator. I hit the button. I'm bouncing up and down on my feet, waiting for this elevator to go up, and I get out. The doors aren't even all the way open. I'm running. I dash through the hall. I burst through the doors. I get there to the room, and my dad had died about 4 seconds before he flatlined. About 4 seconds before I came in, and it was horrible seeing him like that. He was so drained and so thin. It was just awful. I can't even describe it to you. If you've never seen somebody die, it's an experience unlike anything else that I've ever been told about, ever been told to expect, anything. It's a unique experience, and I hope you guys never have to see that, especially about someone you care about. It is just so disturbing. There's this void. Ugh. That's as close as I can get to it. Just... So that happened, and it was really hard because at the time, I mean, just it happening itself would have been horrible, but I was still in school. I was in the last few weeks of my final semester, and I needed time to cry myself completely out, just to let it all gush out. And then I had to go back, and I had to finish because my dad really wanted to be there for my graduation. And I didn't want to postpone it another semester. A lot of my teachers were all of my teachers were extremely kind about this whole thing, very understanding. One guy even offered to give me an incomplete for the semester so I could finish it over the summer if I needed to. But I ended up not needing it, and I graduated with high honors, magna cum laude, and I now have a BA in English literature, which was extraordinarily bittersweet to have because, again, everybody was there except for my dad, and that was awful. That was so bad. But I did do one thing that was really nice and really kind of helped me come to terms with it, and that was I bought a class ring. And I normally don't go in for like jewelry or anything like that, but I bought a fairly expensive class ring, and it happened to get here around the same time that my dad went into the hospital, and I made sure he was the first one to wear it. He was already unconscious by that time, but I put that ring on his finger and I left it there for, I don't know, a good couple hours. So now whenever I see that ring or whenever I think about, me graduating or whenever I'll have any positive experience from my education, I'll think about my dad and know that, it was all kind of because of him and him encouraging me and giving me praise all the way through. So that happened. That was the biggest thing. But also, I went on a 2-week trip to Europe. I backpacked through Scotland, England, and France, interestingly enough. My aunt and uncle are big globetrotters. They go everywhere, and they invited me to go along with them. They said if I could pay my own way, pay my ticket, they would spring and help me out a little bit and give me my own little hotel room. They're pretty well off, so it wasn't a big dent for them, but they did want me to pay for my own ticket, and I did it, and I had a great time. It was amazing. Scotland is just so beautiful. England is busy but interesting. And France, well, I'm sorry, France. I went to Paris, the northern part of Paris, and oh my God, I have never been to a filthier city. It was awful. It was just, I've been to like Oakland, Seattle, San Francisco, and Paris. At least that part of Paris completely takes the cake for the shittiest place that I have ever been to, and it was ugly. But the rest of the trip was wonderful. I cannot express how thankful I am that I got to go on that trip. It was a wonderful, refreshing experience, really. But during that time in Scotland, right at the beginning of my trip, I made a foolish mistake because, you see, well, I had requested time off from my work to take that trip. I needed a Memorial Day weekend off, which is normally a very busy day, a very busy weekend for my work, and I knew that I had to request it off early, so I sent them an email in February, and I said, look, I'm going on this trip. I really cannot work this. I just can't do this weekend, so I'm just letting you know ahead of time, almost four months ahead of time. And the schedule lady said, okay, that's fine. Go on your trip. That's amazing. What an experience for you. Some time goes by. I remind her again in April, like, hey, look, next month I'm going on my trip. If you could just, not schedule me, that'd be great. She goes, okay, good. Yeah, I got you. I remember that email. May rolls around and I get scheduled, and I talked to my bosses. I couldn't find anybody to cover me. Nobody would give me the time off, so I did what I had to do. I took time off. I took my sick days, and I said I was sick. And I apparently made the complete and total mistake of posting one picture onto social media, and one of my coworkers ratted me out and told my boss that I was out there. And I wasn't like posting a ton of pictures. I had only posted one picture from Scotland because the internet connection in Europe, at least with my phone carrier, is not very good. So I had only posted one picture, which was me in the hotel room with a little filter at the bottom that said Scotland. And after I got back from my trip, about 2 weeks after, my big boss calls me into the office and says, look, you lied to us. You used sick time in a way that was completely inappropriate, so you are fired. And this was quite the shock because I'd been working there for 6 years. But what was interesting was that before they called me in, I had actually sent in my letter of resignation saying, look, I'll give you guys till the end of July. And then I'm done. I'm not working anytime past July because I'm going to try to get a different job. And when they pulled me into the office, they said, look, you're resigning anyway, so how about this? Instead of resigning in July, how about you just resign now? And we won't have to go through the messy business of firing you. And I said, okay, all right, fine. So I resigned. And that was really difficult to do because, in my own opinion, if I was running a business where an employee has been working for me for 6 years, has been a model employee, has never given me any problems, has never done anything like this before, has never lied anything, perfect record, and they're quitting in a month anyway. I don't know. Personally, I would have allowed me that last month and said, look, we were gonna fire you, but just for old time's sake, because it's a small company, it's really only run by about 20 people. I would have thought they'd give me that last month, but they didn't, so I've been spending this last few weeks sending my resume out, trying to get another bartending job, trying to get something, and it has been very difficult, very difficult. I've had a few interviews, and nothing has really panned out, and money is getting very tight, particularly because the car accident that I was involved in last year, It was deemed rather, it was judged that I was at fault. The guy who was on the freeway crashed, stopped in the middle of the freeway. Well, in the fast lane, but that's still in my lane. I was found at fault because I was going 5 miles above the speed limit, and because I was going 5 miles above the speed limit, and I didn't brake because I didn't see him until the last second, I didn't have time to brake, and they said that, look, whether you meant to crash into him or not, you still crashed into him when you should have been able to at least apply the brakes, so you're at fault. And now, with me being at fault, my insurance rates have gone up by 150%. So whereas I used to pay $200 in insurance, I now pay about $450. So money's tight in that regard, and also because I've enrolled in the master's program. I'm enrolled to get my master's in English literature, and I'm really, really hoping that I can get financial aid or loans, because I'll need them. I will need them. But don't get me wrong, it's not all doom and gloom by any means. I have been working and planning, because if there's one thing I do really well, it's plan ahead for rainy days. And oh boy, has it been raining for me. This has been the wettest summer I've ever experienced. I took what's known as the CBEST, the California Basic Education Standard Test. And that was a test that was 4 hours long. It tested my reading, writing, and mathematics skills, and I'll be honest, it was so easy that you probably could have passed it right out of high school, but for some reason you can't take it until you have your bachelor's. And I took it and I passed it, which means as soon as I get those test results mailed to me, which should be in a few days, I will go to the Office of Education, they will take my fingerprints, they will have me fill out a form, and I will officially be a substitute teacher, which is going to be amazing because I don't have to commute anymore, and I will get a significant pay increase from what I was doing before. So don't feel too bad for me. Don't feel bad, even though the noose is tightening right now. I will not be dropped from this perilous height, not at all. Instead, I will hopefully be having a lot of opportunities, and what's really nice is that the substitute teaching thing and the master's program perfectly counter each other, because the master's classes aren't until 5:30 in the afternoon, and substitute teaching, well, I mean, class gets out by like 3 p.m., so it should be okay. It should be okay, and this means that I will have weekends completely free, which is going to be great. That's going to be awesome. So that's going to be my plans for the next 2 years, is to substitute teach and to finish up my master's. I guess the other big thing of note is that I was dropped by my AdSense YouTube partner, the Curse Network. So it's a good thing I was already turning off ads on my videos, because I officially am getting no AdSense from anybody, from YouTube, from the Curse Network, from no one. So all of my YouTube stuff is now completely fan-funded, and I do have to say a humongous thank you to my Patreons, Keb, Mr. and Mist, Meta Knight Kirby 2. All of them have still been helping me out, and trust me, even that $5 a month really helps me out. It's been tough, been real tough having to scrape together whatever I can get. So yeah, all of that, dad, graduating, 2-week trip, fired, car accident stuff, substitute teaching, job search, master's program, all of that has been only in the last like 2.5 months. It has been just one hell of a time for me, but this is kind of the last I'm going to be talking about it. This was my one time to vent, to get it all out there, to let everyone know what's been happening, and to say that I'm still going to be here. I've recorded quite a bit. I'm going to be posting a lot more. That's what my channel is going to be focusing on. Whether I do certain older projects like Luigi's Mansion, I still need to finish. Deadly Premonition, I still need to finish. I need to go back and play all the Serious Sam games, all the Halloween games that I said. I'm going to be doing all of that. I need to focus on content creating. So just stick with me. I know it's not very easy being a subscriber to me. I know it's really difficult to have to wait long periods of time, but I have been working very hard to make sure that does not happen anymore, or at least to the best of my ability. I have a lot of videos logged, and I'll be posting them periodically throughout the next month, 2 months. So I'm just going to be focusing on recording, because I have nothing else going on. I do not have a job. I have to wait a full month before I can substitute teach. And even then, I'll have weekends completely free. Do you know how long it's been since I've had, like, all of my weekends free? I haven't had weekends free for 6 years, god damn it, and it has been too long. Far too long. So, this is not a goodbye. This is not a hello, I'm back. This is simply a statement that I am, and will always be, the Invisible Gunslinger #1, and no matter what happens, baby, I'll be here, and I'll be posting, and I'll be having a good time. I'll be having my laughs. No matter what the world may throw at me, I'll be having my chuckles, my jokes, because that is my spirit, my friends. That is my indomitable will, and I hope that I can still bring some enjoyment and some joy to you, because let's be honest, the world is enough of a miserable place without others making it even worse. So, with that said, if you'll excuse me, I need to go back to crafting some happy memories. So, until the next time, everybody, I have been and will always be the Invisible Gunslinger #1, and I'll see you in the next video. Ta-ta for now, and stay smiling, everybody. Just keep that grin up. Thank you.